and Worick Arcangelo, known in the city of Ergastalum as the Handymans, are mercenaries for hire who take on jobs no one else can handle. Contracted by powerful mob syndicate and police alike, the Handymans have to be ready and willing for anything. After completing the order of killing a local pimp, the Handyman adds Alex Benedetto, a prostitute also destined for elimination, to the ranks to protect her from forces that want her gone. From the decrepit hellhole of a city she has called home. However, the criminal paradise is undergoing a profound period of change that threatens to cohort the delicate balance of power. Ergastalum was once safe haven for Twilights, superhuman beings born as a result of special drugs that are now being hunted down by a fierce underground organization. This new threat is rising up to the challenge everything the city stands for, and the Handymans will not be able to avoid this coming war. This anime has about 12 episodes, premiered July 2nd to September 24th of 2015, based off a manga series. It is action and drama. Themes are adult cast and organized crime. Each episode is 20 minutes. It's rated R and 70 plus for violence and profanity. Let's get started into the review. Hi, we are back for another anime review, and here we're reviewing the anime Gangsta. On your left, you have one of the handymans named Brown Nicholas, and he also is deaf. He speaks sign language, so you will see a bit of sign language in the anime. And the person on the right is Angelo Worick, who is another handyman in this series. And this anime has been on my radar for a bit. I've been saving this in my to watch list for a while, and I was actually pretty impressed. I feel like for a gangsters type of show that's really catchy, especially like the whole mafia type of vibe. I think this takes a whole true meaning to protecting the city that you're in. Especially you see like the movies like what's the movie I'm thinking of? Not the Expendables, but what's the movie with Denzel Washington that plays it? Trying to think of the name. It'll come back to me. But it gives that type of vibe, where you're in a city, and you have people who protect the city, and I think in that type of way. Equalizer. That's the Equalizer. That's what I'm thinking of. That Denzel Washington plays, and these two protectors who are known as superhumans, and who are heightened ability, like with this bunch of drugs. They're not called Twilights. I think that's an interesting premise for a gangster type of a noir film vibe, where a series of crime fighting classified as very mature, and does do a lot of adult content because it has as violent as prostitution, drug dealing, and other illegal activities. And look, we have Nick and Warren trying to do the best of their ability to defend that city. And you see the tags that Nicholas is holding here with his very grimace smile. These tags are based off a ranking system here. And I think that's very important to know, because I feel like in Nicholas in particular, since he can't really talk, he's that's just the best of his ability, and he is very strong. To say at least, he is very, very strong. And like I said, he's the one you'll see a lot of sign language from in this series, which I thought was really cool. I think for these two characters in particular, since while Ward doesn't possess any heightened sense, he does make up for, I believe, of his photographic memory that he does have. And these two partners, they're vastly different, come really two different types of grind, especially since they have added another new person, the girl you see in the corner, trying to protect her from the lifestyle that she's trying to get out of. I think it's really interesting. It gets into feel like a Gotham City in a very different environment, while two protagonists give off the vibes of Batman and Robin in a sense. But I think for this mature style of this show, and the antagonist of heavy topics about the violence that you see on the screen, does create a bit of realism to it. But I feel like at the same time, for Nick and Warwick, and this young woman named Alex, who plays a very important role in the story, I feel like it's good pacing for the show of gangsters. We learn much more about the characters, the strong sense of bonds in this town, because the more we watch it, the more we realize that the more we can learn about these characters. They come from such different backgrounds, and their lives are often at risk in a very heightened danger environment, especially in a city that has no rules, and it's about making a living and surviving each and every day. I think also when it comes to the characterization of these characters and gangsters, the characters are really quite developed and played out. We get each background storytelling, especially from Nick and Warwick, and we learn about the past of the people Nick associated with and how he got to where he was as becoming a member of Twilight. On the other hand, also Warwick, who became his partner. The series revolves around his true name and how he used to be neglected by his parents. But I feel like you're delving into this great chemistry between these two duos, you know, it takes an elaborate turn of how the Twilight members are made and what their rules are. And then you were getting thrown back to present day of how we see their past affects the relationship amongst the characters themselves. I feel like also Nick, who doesn't really like let his disability hinder him, even though he is deaf. At first, it may seem a problem that the partners need to, you know, coordinate verbally, but they still have a way to communicate with each other, and they work well with each other. I think that's important how the development between these two, with being assigned dangerous tasks day in day out that no one else can touch or want you to tackle. I think also we have the new girl Alex who we're introduced to. She shows signs of suffering from PTSD, and how does she handle it? And as the story progresses, we learn more about her and the darker side of the anime gangster. But definitely check out this anime if you haven't already. Let me know what you think down in the comments below. I'd like to get your thoughts about the show and what you think about it. Until then, check out this anime. I give this like a 6.9 out of 10. And I can't wait to see if they do bring it back or maybe like reboot it, but who knows. Definitely check it out. You haven't already. Let me know what you think down in the comments below. And see you soon for another anime review. Until then, bye.